Floor 62 Radio, Floor 62 TV, Floor62.us. What's up, man? It's Floor62.us. What's up? It's J.Soul, the genius, Floor62.us. We in the building. We holding it down for you. And today we're on camera. We're on video, and we're doing our thing. And, you know, we can adjust stuff and all that good little stuff. We're in the back. We're in the front. We're everywhere. So, welcome to episode 1 of J.Soul. And hey, look, should we start from the beginning or should we start from the recent times? Okay, let's start from recent times, because if we go back too far, I'm gonna lose some of y'all, and I ain't trying to lose y'all. I'm trying to get y'all to stay in. But today is Apple Music, it's Spotify, it's all the podcast places that are out there. We hit all of them. We're hitting all of them, okay? We're not missing any of them. So this is the first time that we're pushing out to all of them. Today is January 8th, okay? January 8th. It's nighttime over in California. There's wildfires going on. A couple months ago, 3 months ago or so, September 27th, we had a really bad hurricane that caused tornadoes in Augusta, Georgia. Really tore up my neighborhood and all of it. But I don't want to start with the doom and gloom. Let's not start with the doom and gloom, even though we've already started with doom and gloom. And it's only because that's what's so fresh on everybody's mind right now. You know, people have stopped thinking about Diddy. People have stopped thinking about Jay-Z and all of it. And right, like, let's stop. You know what I'm saying? We got Trump getting ready to come into office. They're changing the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. What's happening? You know what I'm saying? You got millionaires in California, you know, these big old houses, rich folk in flames. You get what I'm saying? So 2025 has started off, for me, I feel good. I'm always gonna let y'all know that God is doing wonderful things in my life. I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm not ashamed of God's kingdom. I'm not ashamed of Jesus, the Holy Spirit, Jesus coming back soon, all of it. I believe all of it. You get what I'm saying? So, I came out with some really good music this year. And let me talk a little bit about the music. There's this song called Soul Jazz. Way over 300,000 plays on Spotify. And it's kicking. It's doing its thing. I freestyled the whole thing on the sax. I played the key bass on it. And DJ Spins did the drums on it. And I feel like it really came out really great. We got another song called Players Jam too. To me, like, I like that song more, but it don't have as many spins as Soul Jazz. So I'm really proud of Soul Jazz. I'm very proud of Don't Be Afraid, Retrograde, and the song Thankful. Those are the songs I came out with last year. This year, I will put out more music, instrumental projects, some more singing projects, some more Christian music, you know, disciple music, whatever. Some people I just saw a clip where they were saying, Christian was what they gave us as a derogatory term and whoop-de-whoop. I don't mind being a Christian. I don't mind being a disciple. I want to be whatever God wants me to be, for real. So that's where I'm at with it. So let's just make sure, because my time, my timer isn't moving anymore. It's okay, so it's moving again. So these are gonna be about 10 minutes. Okay, so let me continue talking about the music. Soul Jazz, Players Jam, and the whole Kashmir Collective. Shout out to everybody in the Kashmir Collective doing the thing. We come together. I don't want to start saying names because, oh my God, there's a lot of us. And, you know, we really be coming together. We're making a new sound. We're being innovative. And that's all I want to say about Kashmir Collective. Um, the song Retrograde, that came out of me being in LA, in North Hollywood, over Shay's house. He goes by Shia as his artist name. And, like, it was just a good energy. When we did like a version of the song, and he was just like, okay, bet, I like that. Before I did anything to it, I was like, okay, I'm gonna enjoy working with Shay, because he felt the energy of the song. He was like, no, I don't want to do too much. Perfect. So when you listen to Retrograde, we really clowned on that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, from the lyrics and like how I just came on there and just like Mariposa. And it was just a street name I just saw so many times that I just loved it. I just wanted to put it in the song, and started off with the Mariposa heliotrope or whatever. I'm seeing these street names and over in Cali, and I'm getting inspired by the people. I'm getting inspired by just being over there. But I will say, man, LA got some challenges. I'm talking about the music, but I want to just keep it going on with the LA got. I ain't gonna talk about the challenges right now. We'll come back to that. The 6-digit homelessness, the kidnappings, the police chases, the home invasions, the shootouts. So like, oh my God, you really do have to be desensitized to live in Cali. That's why like, these people are in Cali right now showing pictures of stuff on fire and all of it. And they're like, yeah, I feel safe. Everything's cool. Like, y'all showing us pictures of hell and y'all feel safe. But that's usually how Cali is. Cali is really like somewhat hellish. You know what I'm saying? And if you can desensitize yourself enough, you can get into it. You can really enjoy Cali if you're not paying attention to some of the adversity going on around it. I heard a bing or something. I don't know why I'm hearing bings. Shouldn't hear no bings. Okay, we're gonna cut off all the bings. And this is what we're gonna do. Retrograde. And then we came out with Don't Be Afraid. Don't Be Afraid was, I just had that in my head. Don't be afraid. They say don't be afraid is mentioned in the Bible more times than anything else in the world. Like, don't be afraid, don't be afraid, don't be afraid. So why not make a song about it? And then I invited all these other people. Bailey, Big Bailey got on the song. And then all of a sudden, Cammy Got Bars was coming over to the studio, and she's writing her verse. I was in Augusta at the time when I did Don't Be Afraid. And I knew something was coming. I didn't know what was coming, but I felt like something was coming. That this was going to be something we needed, So I didn't want to limit Don't Be Afraid to just don't be afraid about this or that. It's just don't be afraid about anything. Don't be afraid about love. Don't be afraid about communication. Don't be afraid about your dreams. Don't be afraid about a hurricane. Don't be afraid about wildfires. Don't be afraid about being homeless. Don't get into situations where you can cause yourself to be in an unfavorable circumstance that you created mentally. That's what I'm saying, okay? So I'm going to take the last 30 seconds and tell you that I had the last song that I dropped in 2024 was Thankful, right? And what I love about Floor 62 and what I love about what I'm doing is I have my own platform where I can release my music, sell my music, help other people sell their music, internet radio station, clothing, e-commerce, and we're gonna gamify it, and we're gonna do all these things, music reviews and compilations, all because I've created this LLC. I hate to even call it an LLC. I've created this company called Floor 62. It's a real company. It's registered in the state of Georgia, and I'm very proud of it. We have premium members now who pay monthly to be a part of Floor 62. And you don't have to if you don't want to. It's not invasive. We're not pushing anything in front of you, but it does allow me to organize the people who are in my life and communicate with people in a way that social media doesn't let you do anymore. You get what I'm saying? There's so much AI and so much ads and so many distractions on social media that you'll look and you be like, oh, I didn't even know you got engaged. I ain't know you da-da-da-da. I didn't know you da-da-da. But how? Everything's in front of our faces now. You get what I'm saying? Everything is in front of our faces. And a lot of times we miss it because social media is trying to keep you on the platform. So it's only showing you things they feel like you're going to want to see. You get what I'm saying? So you miss a lot of your favorite things because they want to show you these things over here. So that's neither here nor there. This is the first episode. We went over the songs that I dropped in 2024. I want to welcome y'all to 2025. I want to welcome y'all to my podcast. I just want to say, hey, if you want to be on a J.Soul morning show, go to floor62.us/JSOUL. All right, floor62.us/J.Soul. And look for the link to link. You get what I'm saying? Get on the show. I'll interview you from here, or I'll interview you from somewhere. But all the interviews that I've done so far was before Hurricane Helene. Looking forward to doing some new interviews. Looking forward to doing, just taking 2025 by storm, with the consistency, with the videos, with the J.Soul Music Academy. Look at these. These are beautiful. I got stickers for the J.Soul Music Academy, y'all. These are coming out real. This is a program coming out real soon, but I'm going to assist a lot of people in beat making and all the other skills that I have in music, music theory, whatever you want to learn in music, whatever instrument you want to learn, you want vocal lessons and all of it. If I'm not available to give you vocal lessons, I have some of the best vocal lesson people, the best vocal teachers, vocal instructors around, okay? And, I feel like I know a lot about the voice. I feel like I know a lot about music. And not even I feel like I've been doing it for so long, I'm really undeniable when it comes to sonics, engineering, music production, sound design, all of it. So get in contact with me. I'm J.Soul Music Academy, Floor 62, 84soulmusic.com. I like to create things, okay? And I'm going to leave you with this. 2025 is where we have to plan the work and work the plan. If you just working with no plans, it's not going to work. Not this year. We can't wing it this year. We're not going to wing it no more, okay? We're going to have a plan. We're going to have a strategy. We're going to have a rollout. We're going to have a celebration. You get what I'm saying? So all of those things are coming. A lot of times I do things and don't celebrate it. A lot of times I put stuff out and don't roll it out, or I don't have a strategy or whatever. Like I haven't wanted to be strategic with music. You get what I'm saying? Now, I see the reason for being strategic with music, and it's empowering. I give it an empowering context, and then I can show people what I'm up to and how great I am, So that's what it is. We're going to show people how great we are. We're going to show people how consistent we are, how much we love God, and how much that's important, that we're pleasing to the Creator's eyesight. that we're doing the right things here so that we can get looked out for. I do feel like the more I'm doing the right thing and the more I'm on the right path for real, I get led in the right direction. I meet the right people. I make the right money. I'm in the right door. So whatever door I'm not in, or all the things, well, how come you ain't did this yet? Or how come God ain't wanted me to do that yet? Don't even worry about it. Don't think that I failed. There ain't no failure in God, and I'm on God's plan. So God's plan is successful. There's only success in God's plan. Why would he have me be born and go through all this and give me all these gifts to just be like, you're not gonna make it? That's if I'm not working, if I'm not planning, I'm not strategizing, I'm not talking to God. Yeah, I'm gonna be off. But I feel like if I get up every morning and I talk to God and I ask him to forgive me for my sins and I ask him to align my feet with his plan, I do feel as if God's gonna do that. Why wouldn't he? No, my plan, nah. God's gonna be like, okay, yeah. You come on, yeah. Miss that car accident. Hurricane is gonna miss you. You're not gonna be in LA during no wildfires. You're not gonna get hit by the car. You're not gonna get impacted by a home invasion. You get what I'm saying? I feel as if God has looked out for me, so there's no reason why I can't drop a thankful. Like I will say in front of everybody, look, I'm not afraid of God. I'm not afraid of Jesus, none of it, I'm not afraid to say that I believe. I do fear God in a reverence way and in a respect way, but I'm not afraid of God. God and me are one. God and you are one. Being afraid of God is being afraid of yourself. And that's it for the first episode, y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. The podcast that you're listening to now and what you're watching, this is going to be strictly for the Apple Music, Spotify. Hello world, we're in the podcast world now. Before, I'm doing things that I said I wasn't going to do before. I don't want to do no podcast. My father had a talk show. I'm going to do a talk show. But people understand podcasts. You know what I'm saying? Podcasts, when you say podcast, it is audio only, and there's podcast networks. And it makes sense to repurpose this and film it. So, because YouTube is huge, Floor 62 is huge. So we're going to put it on all these different platforms and send it out, okay? Thank y'all so much for watching. I love y'all, man. From the bottom of my heart, for real. Reach out, 818-392-4412. That's my Google number. And so what? It still rings my phone, okay? Let it be business inquiries. Let it be a question. Let it be some encouragement, A lot of us are getting phone calls that we don't really desire right now. Robot calls and AI calls and all of that. Look, when you come to Floor 62, we're going to use AI, but we're not going to let AI use us over on Floor 62, okay? So shout out to all the members of Floor 62. There's over 226 members now. That might be the number right now, 226 members. And it's fine. I'm not in a hurry to jam a lot of members that just got accounts over there and ain't nobody doing nothing. I do want it to be people who are doing things, who can represent the Floor 62. And it's important that I say Floor 62 is not just for me to recruit the whole world like Facebook or TikTok. Floor 62 is to lead by example, so you can create your own Floor 62, so you can create your own domain and your own company and your own community, and I'll be a part of yours too. You get what I'm saying? We need to control our likeness online. We need to control our privacy online. there's a lot of things we have to do that I feel like we're being real lenient with when it comes to being online. Things that we post, the privacy settings, the things that we allow to consume our timeline. Meta said they're gonna fact check, then they said we're not gonna fact check anymore. It's like a lot of people I know have been in Facebook jail, and you see what I'm saying? And then a lot of times it's not even warranted by anything. So, I don't want negativity or anything like that on floor 62. I don't want catfishing and all that on floor 62. I don't, it may happen. Somebody may create fake accounts or all of that stuff. There's a 2-factor authentication to kind of combat some of that. But I'm ready for whatever. We got business insurance now. If you don't have business insurance, I am licensed to sell and give you a quote for business insurance. If you really need any type of insurance, I'm PNC licensed, life and health licensed. So reach out to me for real. I can really help you shop for some insurance. Coming on the show real soon, though, I do want to mention the 8 Financial Breakthroughs written by Alvin Darien. I remember him before he was an author, before he was a millionaire, before he was all these things, okay? This is somebody I know personally. And this is not the only author I know. I'm knowing a lot of authors. And it's inspiring me to be an author, okay? So I'm looking forward to writing my book. I'm probably going to write several books. I'm probably going to have a lot of audio books now. It's like, bro, I done made it to 40. 40 years old, dog. 1984. I've made it to 40. I can't believe it. I remember my older relatives turning 40 when I was a kid and thinking wow, that's so far away, 40, and then I'll be 50, God willing, one day. I understand what midlife crisis is now. I was thinking about this earlier. Midlife crisis is how many more days do I have left? I love y'all so much. Y'all take care. Look, this year we got a plan. This year we're doing it for real. It's floor 62, and look out for 18 Emerson. That's where we're going to introduce a lot of the financial literacy stuff. So I'm just planting that bug in your ear, because you're going to hear me talking about accidental death policies or IULs or whatever, because you want somebody on your team who knows what's out there in the insurance world. A lot of times you start Googling stuff, or you start AI and stuff, you don't know where to go. But I will say, if a person doesn't have any type of financial license, there's no way they're a financial guru. It just, you just can't be. You may be good at buying and selling. You may be good at flipping. You may be whatever. But if you don't have a life license, or a Series 6 and 63, or a Series 7, or a PNC, if you don't have some type of financial license to sell financial products, I don't see how you're a financial guru, because you don't even really know what's out there. There's a lot of things that are out there for people, and there's a big gap of what people know about and what's really available. A huge gap, okay? So, Saturdays I want to get into those conversations about financial literacy, and we'll consult for, your insurance, whether it's business insurance, your family insurance, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So those will be Saturdays. You can book me on Saturday. If you need to talk a different day, I have other people on my team who they can do a financial needs analysis for you. And it's about taking you from where you are to where you want to go. Okay? So those are the companies. 84 Soul Music is the music publishing, the music services, and it's also the home of the J.Soul Music Academy. Floor 62 is the home of the internet radio station, the e-commerce brand Floor 62 Collectibles. The parties, when I say parties, there's different groups that you can be a part of on Floor 62 and connect with like-minded individuals. So check out the parties on Floor 62. There's so much. It's so much. Floor 62 is the media brand, social media, all of that, music rollouts. And it's wonderful, you know. And then 18 Emerson, that's the financial literacy. We'll be marketing financial products, marketing financial advisors, getting, you connected with people who are really astute when it comes to financial literacy. And I am too, but a lot of times, especially if you know me personally, I'm going to refer you to one of my agents, okay? If you don't know me and you want to talk to me, whatever, we'll get you scheduled, but that has to be on a Saturday morning. We'll get the link and we'll figure out, how we can assist you. So that's it, man. You don't see a lot of musicians going into business like that. You don't see a lot of musicians having companies and stuff. So I'm a Libra. A lot of Libras you'll see have a business mind and a creative mind. You know what I'm saying? Tip, Will Smith, Slim Shady, just to name a few, Lil Wayne. It's like, true, these people are creative, but they also have companies, So like, I'm creative, I got companies, I'll probably make some more companies, I'm probably gonna write some more books. I haven't wrote a book yet, but I will write a book. Gotta speak it into existence. Okay. And I done said bye to y'all a few times. I'm not gonna go over 30 minutes. I said we were gonna do 10 minutes. Here we go, 30 minutes. Shout out to Ashley Chaplin. She said, you need just don't worry about interviews. Just you. We want to hear you talk. Why don't you just get on here and talk? Okay. Well, it evidently is easier than I thought. But I had to crack the mic open. I had to get the lighting right. I had to get the, come on now. I don't want to do bootleg. I like doing quality. I like, I didn't even have a pop filter. I had to go buy a pop filter. Then I had bought the cheap one from Guitar Center with the mesh. Then I said, I took that thing back. I said, I want the metal one. Give me the more expensive. They only had 2 of them in there. One was $30, one was $50. I said, they gonna sound the same way. Let me get the $30 one. I drove off and everything, and I came back, and I was like, let me get the other one, man. He was like, you bringing it back already? I'm like, yeah. I said, let me get the newer one. I said, let me get the more expensive one. And I do like this one better. This is a pop filter. This is the microphone. I have an Audio Technica. I think it's the 4040 or the 2020. I don't know. I've had this mic for a long time. Y'all hear that? We're doing a little ASMR real quick. Where's the name of the mic? Oh, here you go. I got the AT4040. I got the AT4040. I've got a pop filter. And it's going into the Apogee Duet, and I'm recording with Logic, and on my phone I'm recording with Filmic, and I have another phone that's facing me so I can see what's going on Filmic. Okay, so that's a little bit of my setup. I've told y'all about the music I dropped last year. We'll get into more of my story. We'll get into more of me later. A lot of y'all, if you're watching this, you probably already know my story. But if you got questions or if you want me to talk about something on the next episode, let me know. And I'll be right here for you. Is this the J.Soul Morning Show? This is the J.Soul Podcast, okay? The J.Soul Morning Show Podcast. 30 minutes. Peace.
and leave them all empty. Hit them all, I be stuntin', 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 man. Grinding all day, getting money, 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 man. I'ma ball till I fall. Got 'em mad, 'cause my swag on 100, man. Hit them all, I be stuntin', 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 man. Grinding all day, getting money, 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 man. I'ma ball till I fall. Got 'em mad, 'cause my swag on 100, man. Walking to them all by all the anti-7 jeans. Air Hardy 87, 32 in LRG. All the Coogee, all the Polo, all the Louis and Lacoste. When I feel my white boy swag, I just go shop at Hollister's. Eating apple Dodger. Saturday I rock a True Religion with the Prada. Money I got a lot of. Pockets filled with guap. Money I got plenty. Gotta buy it all and leave them all empty. Hit them all, I be stuntin', 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 man. Riding all day, getting money, 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 man. I'ma ball till I fall. Got 'em mad, 'cause my swag on 100, man. Hit them all, I be stuntin', 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 man. Riding all day, getting money, 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 man. I'ma ball till I fall. Got 'em mad, 'cause my swag on 100, man.
That what shawty do. Stunt, stunt, sound 60 cool. Stunt, stunt, when I'm with the fam. Stunt, stunt, hopping out the lamb. All I know is turn it up and all I know is play. G4, G5, all I know is J. When it bout that ass, that thing got shitted on the bed. 5-time team and I put that on my chest. Hottest in the city, I go hard on all the rest. Bidding for a show and I ain't taking nothing less. Crosses on me everywhere like oh my God, I'm blessed. Bidding for a show and I ain't taking nothing less.
Hit them all, I be stuntin', 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 man. Riding all day, getting money, 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 man. I'ma ball till I fall. Got 'em mad, 'cause my swag on 100, man. Hit them all, I be stuntin', 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 man. Riding all day, getting money, 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 man. I'ma ball till I fall. Got 'em mad, 'cause my swag on 100, man.
J.Soul.
Baby boy, grand hustle boy, young LA, swag on 100, man. Swag on 100, man.
Wake up, man. Oh, shoot. We back. It's the J.Soul Morning Show. Wake up, wake up, wake up. I've got another guest for y'all, and y'all not gonna believe it. You know, like I don't know how I got on his schedule. I don't know how, we made this happen. He's very expensive, you know what I'm saying? He don't have that much time. He's produced records like Commas for Future, She Twerking. He done kept you on the dance floor. He's been on the radio, and he's a really good friend of mine, man. I like to introduce y'all and present to other people DJ Spins. What
Yo,
it do?
What's happening? What's
My
happening?
boys in the building. They going crazy. Spins is in the building.
What we got?
Spins 808. Spins, the Cashmere Collective, like the whole thing, man.
Yeah, man. All that. How y'all doing?
It's all good. Tell the listeners where you are today, man.
Man, I'm in Atlanta right now. This is the place I call home. So yeah, I'm kicking it right now. You know what I'm saying? The sun's shining. It's about 75 degrees outside. It's a beautiful day.
Now we could start where we are now. We could start these people from the beginning. Everybody knows that you from Augusta, Georgia. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And then we've, I've interviewed my cousin Shay. He's from Augusta too. So like, there's a lot of little people don't really know what's going on, man. So tell these people a little bit about your music journey that they don't know from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna touch on a little bit of that, and then we're going into some personal reflections.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, definitely. Been doing music as long as I can remember. My grandma and my uncle owned a supper club, so that was kind of like, I guess you could say, the first piece of like knowing music.
What was the name of it?
Mr. J's Famous Dough.
Okay,
Yes.
where that's at?
Augusta,
Well,
Georgia.
right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying? That's where I was rooted. That's where I grew from. You know what I'm saying? That's why I had the pleasure of meeting, Soul, Blends, you know what I'm saying, which I consider them family, like, because, with doing music at such a young age or taking an interest in what I would say is kind of like a smaller town, not necessarily a major city, but we had major things to come out of our city. But it just was, like we didn't even have like a guitar center or anything like that. So, just building some camaraderie with people who had the same interests and who also, were gifted in their own ways. It's just like it was instrumental to my journey, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like, it goes on the other side of the coin too, because music it's a congregational thing, you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like you grow together through, the music. It's a ministry. So
yeah, definitely.
yeah, I started with in my uncle and my grandma's club, just being there because I had to be there as a family business, and they're playing, blues, you know what I'm saying, disco, you know what I mean, all kind of stuff like that, soul, R&B. So that was like my first introduction to it. And the first thing I decided, I was like, okay, I was leaving elementary school, and people was interested in football, interested in basketball. I like sports and shit, but
true.
I was just playing like rec ball, and it was cool. But then by the time I got to like 7th grade, I realized I was not gonna be that tall. So like I was like, all right, this athlete, it's cool, but let me just kind of focus on the music. And nobody around me right now is doing that. So this this what I'm stick to. And then that kind of kicked off my journey to like wanting to be a DJ. And I had already made good friends with the DJ at my grandma's spot. But obviously, he was playing more of the classics. But I'm a lot more grateful of that now than I was back then.
It got you familiar. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it just kind of like, especially when let's just say a lot of people might have just grew up with whatever music was in their time, you know what I'm saying, and didn't have the experience from the older generation. So I feel like it just kind of like, seasoned me a little bit.
Yeah. It gives you that old soul when you can hear that old music and it's playing, and then it's like entertainment business. So you're seeing entrepreneurship, you're seeing all of those things. And in 7th grade, you was like, okay, well, I love music. I love the athlete stuff too, but there's a lot of people who a lot taller, a lot whatever.
Yeah.
So shoot,
I was saying that wasn't finna work out.
I feel you.
Yeah.
I was kind of similar. I was like, I wanted to play basketball and do my thing. It was just like that music it just called me,
Yeah. Yeah, you can't run away from it.
So let's talk about your shift from Augusta and then moving to Atlanta. Like there's a lot of places we could do music. Like why you feel like Atlanta?
I just felt like that obviously was the closest hub to where the most motion was going on, but to me it was just like it wasn't like I had an option like, well, maybe I should go to New York. It was like, nah, like I'm going to Atlanta. Like everything that I wanted to do was in Atlanta. Like I could, all the artists that I was like really into, like they were all, if not from Atlanta, they were in Atlanta, So it just was kind of like, I felt it in my gut. And was just like, like this is where I need to be. Like, and also, being grateful that I had that upbringing, because there was a lot of like instrumental things that happened in Augusta that I feel like over prepared me to come to Atlanta. So
you can touch on that.
Yeah, it was just, like when I got here, I came for college. Like that was, that was my that was my ticket in the door.
Okay. You want to shout out to college?
Nah, I don't.
Okay.
But my mom, was like, I'm graduating high school. She like, you going to school? So she just wasn't gonna let me like wander,
Just go
and
to Atlanta and just go to the studio and whatever happens.
right, and go
I
live a
feel.
pipe dream. So she was like, school, and then I looked up the Art Institute and then Full Sail at the time because I was telling her, I was like, could you? I went to Johnson in
Mm-hmm.
Augusta or whatever. It
Mm-hmm.
was like an engineering school, but like I hated school.
I feel.
So yeah, I'm like for college, and I'm already this deep into music. I was like, please don't send me to regular college because I hate
Okay.
school. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like she was like, okay, if you find something that's like that, and then in Atlanta, then cool. You can do that. So we found the Art Institute. Um, she got me some loans. I was able to get in, and
Mm-hmm.
I had a not a dorm, but like I had a roommate at first. It was in college housing or whatever,
Yeah,
and
I remember.
yeah, I was at Metro Point. They call it
Mm-hmm.
Westmar now, I think. But
Oh, okay.
yeah, so did that. Hold on, let me just make sure. What was the question again? So I don't want to go too far off that.
No, we're not going. We're not going off of it. But
Okay.
you said there were some things in Augusta that prepared you for
Oh,
being in Atlanta.
yeah, for sure. Okay, so yeah, like all right, when I want to say, mm, I think I was in like I had started high school already, and then I realized that Foxy
Mhm.
was DJing at
The football
the
games
yeah, the
on
game of
Friday.
the week. The game
Yeah,
of the week.
yeah.
So um the thing was, it was like I had got my mom to give me like some cheaper CD players, you know what I'm saying, or like some DJ equipment, but they had CDJs,
Yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah,
saying.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it was like I gotta get. I'm hooked. Like I was a fiend. That was the dope. I needed to get to that. So I
Mm-hmm.
started going out there every week, and
True.
over time, Ron Thomas. It's just so I always got to salute Ron. He
Mm-hmm.
ended up giving me an opportunity to
Right.
DJ on the station. Or at first it was commercial breaks, and then he gave me an opportunity to go live, and then that ended up with me having a show. But that by having a show and having like mentors, because it was actually a lot of good DJs in Augusta,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like when I came to Atlanta, not to say there weren't good DJs, but as far as technically skilled, like when it comes to hands, like, like the sessions when I come over your crib with me and
Mm-hmm.
Carl, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like, even B Dubs, Greg Nice, like we grew
Yeah.
up, you know what I'm saying, hearing very
Listening
skilled. Yeah, they
to
was
really
very
great
skilled DJs.
DJs. Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So when I got up here and then, I was already cool with Scream, and then we just kind of furthered our relationship. He looked out for me and got me a gig. And then when I got to, like the spots and just went to the clubs, I was like, damn, like the music is pretty similar. It's slightly different, but
Mm-hmm.
the like from what I used to like pride myself on when it come to like skills and like mixing,
Mm-hmm.
cutting, stuff like that, I just felt like I was over prepared. You know what I mean? Like
Okay, got you.
I was coming into the class and I had already read all the books. You
Right.
know,
Yeah.
maybe into different places to where people hadn't read the books or
Mm-hmm.
gotten the techniques down. So I feel like that helped a lot in like me moving along quickly once I got up here because I
Yeah.
was I was well seasoned.
There's been some people say, well, what does the DJ do type thing? Because, but I think that kind of piggybacks on it because a lot of people don't know that there are skills when it comes to DJing and sound and how you cut the music, how you transition the music, how you read the room. So there's a lot
Hmm.
that DJs do, you know what I'm
Yes,
saying? And I
yes,
think that we do have to go back and put the respect on the DJ because they putting the little Tubi
absolutely.
movies on about the DJ. It's like y'all not telling the story.
Not the
You
whole
know,
story.
not the whole story. So that's what I think this is important. You brought up Ron Thomas, you know what I'm saying? We get to, salute people like him. My
Yep,
father was
yep.
in radio. He knew my father and he gave me an opportunity too. So shout out to you, Ron. You know what I'm
For
saying?
sure. Gotta do that.
Yeah, yeah. So like this is platforms where like the people who, don't get mentioned or we forgot to get mentioned or, like we move through the story and then we can come back and but we're going to be doing these a little bit more, you know what I'm saying?
For
If
sure.
you're interested, I want to get Spins back on the show because I know he's very exclusive. You don't talk to everybody.
Nah. I mean, man, with the home team, I'm always available. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't like to venture out too much further than that because
Yeah.
it's a lot of stuff I'd rather not concern myself with.
Yeah. What would you say is your like favorite things that happened to you in the music industry, like your highlights?
Mm, man, it's kind of hard to say that for me because it's like I enjoy like every part of it,
Yeah.
and it's come with a lot of good. It's also come with some bad too, but I just learn to kind of like you know be appreciative of the journey. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And it's something that I can take from anything that happened in my life. So
Yeah.
I try to stay just pretty much even keel. But yeah, I've definitely had like, great times, great moments, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Countless moments, you know what I'm saying? And I look forward to just still continuing to make them, It's just, we just got to live life. And that's kind of how a lot of stuff happened. I feel like, yeah, I wanted to excel when I came up here, but it was more about just like indulging in my passion.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of just led me to some I guess you could say career highlights or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But
You,
yeah,
you, I just had K Major on the show, and he was like,
My
"Yeah,
boy.
shout out to people like Spins, helped me get some of my first placements, and was there for me when I didn't even, know what was going on."
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
he was like, I saw Spins in the club. He was like, "Yeah, I want to." He said he wanted a beat from you. Oh, he was like, "Yeah, you said 7,500. Talk to my lawyer." I was like, "Okay, Spins had it down, pat from the
Man, yeah, I
beginning."
think I was an autopilot back then, but like I said, my friends can get anything from me, so
Yeah.
it ain't and like that. That's how I like to treat it, because for me, I can say that I've never got a hit from just sending a beat. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? It's always come from a relationship. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? A
Right.
relationship of me building with a person or artist or whatever and just
Mm-hmm.
kicking it. Cause we create and stuff like that's our art. You know what I'm saying? That's a piece of us. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like I know some people treat it very transactional. You know what I mean? I'm not
Right.
really that type of
Right.
person. Like
Mm-hmm.
I just I want to create with my friends, you know what I'm saying, and just make good stuff, great stuff.
Right. Right. I
Yeah.
have noticed like if you just do music, if everybody just do music with their friends and just make great
Yeah.
stuff, like the people that's in your reach,
Yeah.
like you can come up with some really magical stuff.
Yeah. And then, that's not to say that you can't meet new friends along the way either. So
Mm-hmm.
like, somebody you might not know now might become your friend in 2 or 3 years, after you actually built the relationship and built rapport with them. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm always open to, I'm never closed off, but I'm just, the industry sometimes will just be like, well, yeah, such and such is working, such and such is working, and I'm like, I don't know them people.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah,
So it's cool, but I don't know.
cause I'm like and I don't know if I got this from you, but definitely like I've been around you, so and I know that this is something you do. It's just like you follow that gut, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Follow the energy, just like
Yeah.
if you ain't feeling it, it ain't gonna get felt.
Yeah, I'm out of there.
Yeah.
Out of there.
So just trusting it. And then earlier you was talking about, it's the good come with it, some bad come with it too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So do you want to touch on any adversities you bounce back from in your music journey?
Yeah, man. I tell everybody like life is gonna happen. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So it's just to me about your approach in life. Like it don't matter if you got $1, it don't matter if you got $1 billion. Like
Mm-hmm.
life
Mm-hmm.
is gonna present you with problems constantly. It's just what's your mindset? Are you a problem solver? Are you a excuse maker? You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Like so I try to just fix my mindset to where I'm a problem solver or I'm working to solve a problem. Like if it's something that, confronts me, it's like, okay, I might not get it on the first try, but I'm gonna work to solve the problem. You know what I mean? And I just tell people that all the time because you know, on the outside looking in, people could just look at your highlight reel and feel like, oh, okay, it's sweet, everything, you know. And then you know, on the surface, Instagram, social media, most people are only gonna post their highlights. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's just. I would like to tell everybody I feel like it's a mindset that you go through life with. Just be a problem solver. Work to be a problem solver, and then it won't be no problem. You know, it won't be no problem that you can't overcome.
Right.
And you know, like I think the problems kind of like build character. You know what I'm saying? It's just like a rich person who never had to work for anything usually tends to not have as much character as somebody who worked for everything they got. You know, so you know, I love that part of it too. Like, you know what I'm saying? I put some bricks together to get here. Like, it wasn't just I was born with a silver spoon. Like, you know what I mean? We got to put some work in.
Yeah. Now, you definitely been putting the work in, man. And like you said, we have to learn from the things that it ain't always sweet. It ain't always the best. You know, like you could have the number one song, but then now you got a traffic of people who good and a traffic of people who bad, you know, because you have more visibility.
That and also, like, let's just say you can get a number one song, and then the same day you get the number one song, your dog died.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it be stuff like that. You know what I mean? People be thinking in the you know, just the professional realm, but it's like shit. Everybody gotta live life, you know what I mean? Everybody got family. You got all kind of stuff. And like I said, life is gonna life, man. And what I've been saying, you know, it's just about, you know, how you graze through, you know what I'm saying, and how you deal with it.
Got it. So you got a couple of companies, Tune Freak, Cashmere Collective. Right. Talk about the formation of these companies and what's coming up.
Okay, yeah, so Tune Freak Recordings, that's my independent label. Probably been working on it maybe close to 10 years now, and you've been a very instrumental part of Tune Freak, of just helping me and helping me build it. So I'm very grateful for that. But it's kind of like a space where I release like my art as far as like my artist work, my friends' artist work, you know what I'm saying? So anything that I'm kind of behind when it comes to urban music, I've been releasing it under Tune Freak Recording. So that's an ongoing process. Very, very grateful for that. And just to have that outlet that I built and, you know, just to share my art with people. Just because I feel like more people, and, you know, rightfully so, were in tune with just my journey as a producer. So as I branched out into, you know, my artistry, I feel like I had to create a space for it, you know, and I'm still doing that, and very happy with, you know, the growth in it.
I gotta get me some more TF hoodies, man. We gotta, you know, we gotta show up again with the TFs.
Yeah, man. More vibe outs, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Working on that too. Definitely working on that. So, Cashmere Collective is another piece, which I'm very, very passionate in, and building that for maybe like 6 years, which again, you know what I'm saying, you played an amazing role in. So was on the first EP, you know what I'm saying? We released, like you said, 3 records this year. So Cashmere Collective to me though is a community service project. And it's to me, I just my ultimate goal is to be a place where creatives can create, you know what I mean, and share their art with the world, whether it's, you know, music, it's drawing, it's sketching, you know what I'm saying, whether it's planning events or anything, you know what I'm saying, whatever your art may be. I feel like you're a part of the collective, you know.
Gotcha.
So yeah, that's it's been going good. I feel like we're entering phase 2 right now. We built the foundation, music and like instrumental wise, which is, you know, that's gonna continue nonstop. But now we're setting up events, you know what I mean, to start to, you know, get in the community and just, you know, collab with different different movements and different people that we see spreading, you know what I'm saying, the light. So
Right.
yeah, that's basically in a nutshell what Cashmere is.
I'm gonna be up in there, man. It's smooth. It's fresh.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and it's a balance. It's like you need the tune freak urban
Yeah, yeah.
situation. You know,
Right,
like
right,
racks. You know,
right. Yeah, for sure.
but then you also, you know, like you kicking it over here. You got the, you know, the
Yeah,
lo-fi,
yeah.
and you feel, you know, it feels luxurious. It feel like it got a good little thing to it.
Yeah, you can water your plants, you know what I'm saying? Get you some work done, you know what I'm saying? Meditate.
Yeah, it's almost, you know, like, you know, and I know that this ain't what we had in mind, but you know, Lil Jon went from the crunk era. Now he's like,
Yeah,
you know, like let's zen
yeah,
it out. You know, like let's get these
yeah.
folk a balance.
You know, it's crazy because so many people hit me about, they hit me about Andre first, you know what I'm saying? Because they seen I've been doing the instrumental thing for like, what, 5 years now? 4 or 5 years. And it's like, yeah, you see Andre's coming out with a flute album. I'm like, yeah, that's dope. Like, I'm glad that these bigger figures are showing, you know, that you can, you know, grow and you
Right.
can do other things. So, you know, because the industry likes to, you know, try to categorize and put people in boxes, but
Right.
we're living beings, man. We go through phases, we go through seasons. So I'm just all about the expression of that. So I love, you know, and I actually, Lil Jon is one of my favorite producers of all time. Part of the reason I do music. So
Yeah.
he was a heavy influence in my childhood, even though I never really got to, you know, just meet him like that. But
Okay.
just from afar looking in and seeing, you know, his impact. And to me, I feel like he's been successful in like 5 genres, like at least.
Yeah.
You know, and
Nah.
even created, I think he even created like 2 genres. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Bro,
yeah, like,
bless, man, for sure.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So very, very, very influential. I always want to give him his flowers.
For sure. For sure. Now, how important is like keeping positivity, you know, in your mix and all of that, and your energy as far as creating? Like, how important is that to you?
It's very important, man. Like, it's, you know, like I said, life is full of different experiences. So to me, you know, part of my problem solving algorithm has been to, you know, stay positively charged. And
Yeah.
there's so much that can bring you down just from social media to, you know, your peers, to the news, to whatever's going on in the world. That's, you know, why I like to have an escape. Like, I have to meditate. I have to have Cashmere Collective in my life to kind of, you know, balance me out. Like, I might go off too far to the left, and then it's like, okay, I can come back and get my zen right here with Cashmere. You know what I mean? It's like I come back to that to continue to reset. That's been like the reset frequency for me. And I feel like that's important for all human beings. So that's why, you know, I wanted to share that art with people, because I'm like, it helps me. So hopefully it can help somebody else.
Yeah. Do you feel like it's cutting through, or do you feel like sometimes people just feel like DJ Spins are just listening to all trap beats all day, like only making trap beats? Or like,
Well, from the way I see it now, like, yeah, in the beginning, you know, I'm sure like when they saw me post like the first instrumental album or whatever, they like, okay. Then they see me post another instrumental album, they're like, okay. Another one. It's like, oh, maybe I should listen this time. You know what I mean? And so I've seen, you know, the transition. You know what I mean, from where I started at the beginning of this journey to now, and I definitely could say that I'm very pleased with the amount of people that I've been able to affect, and I hope that I can affect a lot more.
Yeah. No, you've been all over the country, really all over the world, Japan, Singapore, like just to name a few. But I'm thinking like, well, how has that travel, you know, impacted, you know, your way of thinking as well?
Man, travel is amazing. Just to me, for the simple fact of the perspective that you gain every time you travel. So I tell people all the time, like, you know, especially when I run into somebody who might be complaining about a situation, which I recently had to talk about, and I'm just like, man, I know, you know, from being, you know, of faith, I'm sure you heard the term a lot of times. You don't know how blessed you are,
Mm-hmm.
but I really like to reiterate that to people because in my travels I've seen a lot of cool things, but I've also seen people living in conditions that I couldn't imagine. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I realized that we live in America, and America is what it is. But
Yeah.
from my travels and
Mm-hmm.
my tens and twenties of countries that I've seen,
Mm-hmm.
we are very very blessed, and then not even in the sense of you're driving a Benz or a Bentley or a Rolls Royce or anything like that. If you could be out here in a 1 bedroom apartment, you have AC,
Mm-hmm.
you have like your mother said, a roof over your head, you
Yeah.
have a bathroom. Like I don't think people understand that people don't have that.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So it's just like,
Electricity and
you know
lights
what I'm
and
saying? Like you can
yeah.
go to the grocery store, you don't have to kill your food.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So yeah, like for me, the traveling just opened my brain up to see like, hey man, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot of stuff out here, and like, a lot of the shit, people act like brats about, or excuse me, I don't know if I can curse, but
Yeah,
the
you
stuff that
can.
the stuff that people act like brats about, like,
Mm-hmm.
man, like you're extremely blessed, man. It could be
Right.
worse. It
Definitely.
could be worse. That, yeah.
Definitely. Well, Spence, I ain't ready for you to go yet. You know what I'm saying? But
Oh
I've
yeah, nah,
enjoyed,
I appreciate that.
I've enjoyed the conversation. And I gotta make sure that I invite you back. That we continue this going on. This is floor
Sure.
62. You know what I'm saying? So welcome to the building.
Yes,
Like this,
sir.
is where
Yes,
this is where
sir.
we gonna be at. So we gonna turn up Tune Freak. We gonna turn up Cashmere Collective. We gonna turn up DJ
Love.
Spins, man. What do you want to
Thank you.
leave the
Thank you.
people with?
Hey man, I just want to leave them with peace, man. Thank you for having me. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Just want to send love and peace, man.
Okay. Well, y'all heard it, man. Look, from Augusta, Georgia, is my brother from another mother, man. Shout
You
out
know
to
what I'm
your
saying?
mom. Shout out to my
Shout out to
mom.
Mama
Whatever.
Soul. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You know what I
All
mean?
good. All good.
Very
Thank you.
grateful.
Thank you, Spins, and we'll see you next time.
Okay, man.
All right, peace.
till the music stop.
My bad, I had you extra loaded over here. So.
Okay, wake up, wake up, wake up. It's the J.Soul Morning Show. And again, we have another guest. And it's only because we have really special people who come on the J.Soul Morning Show. You know, it's invitation only. Everybody can't show up. But and you hear her in the background. And you know, she's a wonderful musician and she's been in Augusta for, you know, for some time, making really a way for a lot of independent artists, whether it's putting them on stage, whether she's on stage. She's doing a whole lot, from newspapers to everything. And you'll see what I'm talking about. We'll get into it. I'd like to introduce you guys to and present to others Kay Gordon. Welcome to the J.Soul Morning Show.
Thank you so very much. Good morning. It's my pleasure to be here
morning.
with you. Thanks for the invitation.
Hey, you know what? I don't see how I couldn't have Kay Gordon on the show. You know, it's just like how could I not?
I
But
appreciate it. I'm grateful.
tell the listeners, you know, 2 or 3 things, you know, some highlights about yourself, and then why you do what you do.
Okay. Well, let's see. I am a musician by trade. That's my main thing. That has been my main thing for quite some time. I started the company Garden City Jazz back in 2003 to support jazz music in the local community, to make it more family friendly, to support the artists who were playing this music, and to introduce it to new audiences. So I started doing that. I was in a band called Quiet Storm, and then I kind of branched off into doing Garden City Jazz full time. So that actually came to a screeching halt during the pandemic. But
2020.
Yeah. And so we're still support music and musicians. I do still program the jazz and blues stage at the Arts in the Heart of Augusta Festival. But the music has kind of taken a back seat to some of the other work that I'm doing. So in 2009, I began to become interested in, I lived in Aiken at the time, but I was really interested in Augusta. I grew up in Augusta, very committed to the Augusta community. So I began to shift my focus to downtown Augusta. What's going on downtown? Why does it still look the way that it does? Has for 1,100,000 bazillion years. And so,
we're talking about Augusta for the listeners who are just joining us.
Augusta, Georgia. And so in the process of gathering some information and just being curious, I asked a whole lot of questions.
Gotcha.
Anybody who would listen to the questions and answer it or not. But I met a lot of people in the process of doing that. I began to understand a little bit about local government as well. Some of the good, the bad, and the ugly about it. And but during that time, I was really interested in community, and I used my skills, right? My charm, that to and of course my popularity as a musician opened a lot of doors for me to be able to talk to people. So people kind of knew who I was, and so when I asked questions about why is this thing still broken, they were a little bit more willing to answer those things, even if they didn't know they would redirect. So I started really getting involved in community service then, from a policy, from a development, all that perspective. And you said 2 or 3 things. Child, I could be doing this for 45 minutes. So
no, that's fine. That's fine.
Hold up real quick. So I asked a lot of questions during that time. And in 2014, I was accepted into the Leadership Augusta class. And going through that, this is not necessarily a commercial for that program.
Got it.
But it's a great professional development program.
Right.
I learned a lot about how the city works and how it should work.
Okay.
Then, I became interested in it. Then in 2016, I moved back to South Augusta.
Okay.
And yeah, there's a lot going on here too. There's a lot that's not happening as well. But I began to ask more questions. Why does South Augusta look the way that it does? Why are the streets broken? Why are things falling apart?
And this is you're asking your commissioner, or you're asking? I'm asking some commissioners.
Yeah, I'm asking. Definitely the commissioner. I met the commissioner for my district for the house that we moved in. When I was going through that Leadership Augusta class, I met him there. He invited me to come to his community meetings. So I started driving from Aiken to South Augusta. So it's about an hour drive. Just, it seems like it was a nice little ride, just so I could get more information about what's happening in community. So I reconnected with another friend there who was involved in agriculture. And she was working on a project. She asked me to help her with a project. I said, sure, let's do it.
Okay.
And it led to the work that we're doing now in agriculture, supporting Black farmers in the community, which also, going back to the pandemic of 2020, with the political climate then, a local newspaper, a Black newspaper, the publisher was going to stop. And he wanted to get out of the business, and so he asked me if I would help with that, and I said, sure, why not?
Okay.
The interesting thing about all of this is it involved lots of questions, lots of conversations, lots of emails. There were things I was interested in that I didn't know anything about, but I made a decision to learn about it, and I've fallen down the steps a lot of times and made a whole lot of mistakes, but that's how we got to where we are today, doing this work in the community and figuring things out and helping people.
That's so awesome, because you gave me so many things that we want to touch on because there's a lot of people who aren't in the inquiry of the Augusta Commission, or if you're not in Augusta, the commission of how your city runs, what's on the agenda, what's being voted on, what power does your mayor have, what power does your mayor not have,
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people who, like you said, they're not in that inquiry. So we could talk about that, the importance of knowing who your
local elected officials are. Definitely.
Who's in the commission? First start with your district. You know, what district are you in?
Right. Exactly.
And who's assigned to your district, and what are they voting? How do they vote?
Exactly. What are their priorities? Right. So I'll say this too. Like, I lived in Aiken for about 10 or 15 years, I think. I lived in the city of Aiken for about 10 or 15 years, and did not, almost embarrassed to say that I didn't care about what was going on in that country. I wasn't involved. I was like, no, Augusta is my home. My mama over there. So, and my people over there too. So I need to be more engaged, or at least more knowledgeable about what's happening. Because it's easy to point a finger and say that my commission or my city council or my mayor don't do anything, when the only information source that you have is what you hear on social media or what you see on the news. If you just if your information sources are limited, then you're getting a limited picture of what's going on.
People just follow the bandwagon. It's like, oh, the commissioner's not doing nothing. No, the mayor's not doing it. Just like,
yeah.
What have they done?
The stuff that makes it to the news, you got to understand too about media is, if it bleeds, it leads. So would you rather see on television a calm, cool, collected meeting, or do you want to be out here getting busy, or get
Right.
talk crap? That's
Right.
a
Right.
lot more entertaining than you get on the phone. Be like, girl, did you see that thing? What?
Exactly.
Yeah,
People want to be entertained, man.
yeah.
but
Are you
but at the
not
same,
being entertained? But the thing that's really wonderful about really being, because you do have to be intentional, right?
okay.
You have to be intentional. You have to be persistent as well.
Hmm.
So when I say that I'm asking questions and asking questions, I ask you, you got to ask some same questions a lot of times. Sometimes you
Yeah.
might get different answers.
Hmm.
A lot of times you call folks, they may not, they may not respond. They may not be responsive, but you keep going.
Right.
I tell my youngest baby, Scooter, that when he wants something, he gonna ask me until he gets it. So if I want something for me, or if I want something for my community, and I pick up the phone and I call you, J.Soul, I call
Mm.
you one time, and then you don't hear from me no more, it ain't that important.
Mm.
It's not that important. It's gotta be.
Mm.
It's gotta be important. All things.
The squeaky wheel gets the oil.
It does
Yeah.
every single time, and people
Yeah.
gonna tell you something, even if it's wrong. But you gonna answer my question. Even if you don't know the answer, that's fine. Point me and take me to somebody who can answer the question for me. And more importantly, so I also am aware that of the ways that I come across when I'm talking about my interactions with
Okay.
elected officials and that kind of thing. It's because
Yeah.
I have a relationship with them. It's because I've been intentional about building a relationship. Because
Right.
if if you want to, you can get more. What is it? Flies with honey than
Honey.
vinegar. Yeah. So
Uh-huh.
I'm not going to. If I want some information, or um, there's something that I want to have done, I'm not going to um, be a butthole about it and say, hey, this has been going on for such and such a long time.
Yeah.
I don't start there. You may eventually have to get to that place, but I consider many of the city employees and elected officials like family, right? I
Okay.
don't really have a familial relationship with all of them,
Hmm.
but the reason I have that stance is because I've taken the time to reach out to them. If I have a question, like what's like for real, like what's going on over there, like what's happening, um, why can't y'all fix the street? No, why can't you get?
I do want to get more of us watching the meetings
Mm-hmm.
that come on YouTube, and just going, just talking about what we thought was on the agenda, because I don't think that we're not there's really no outlet for us to say, what, this is what they were talking about, and hey, and then they got this plan and they released this PDF, like a lot of
Yeah,
times it's just over there and
it's over there.
nobody's looking at it.
No,
And
look
then
at
you just driving down the road, you're like, oh,
yeah.
when they put this over here,
When
like
the whole thing
it
happened,
was on the website.
it's been up there. Government moves so slow. Most times moves so slowly that by the time something happens, it was something that was mandated or approved a year, 2 years, however long ago. Nothing happens quickly in government
Right.
unless I was gonna say unless there's money involved. But and the example of that, because I don't want that to be misconstrued, is is the Augusta National. Several years ago, the Augusta National wanted to move a street, right, so they could enlarge their territory, something or other. And in order for them to build a street or to reroute a road, they had to deal with government.
Mhm.
So they had to get on the list to get this particular work done, right? So, because budgets, local sales tax, all that kind of stuff, and then they got to get in the queue because y'all not special, right? What they did,
You.
the reason I mentioned money is because if I got enough money to do the street myself, I'll go ahead and do it. And that's exactly what they did. They went ahead and rerouted this road, Berkman's Road.
Mm-hmm.
And then they said, I'll get my money back from the city when you have it. So, coins can make things happen for sure. Good and bad. But
I mean, at the same time, if that was a black organization, even with the money, no matter how much money you got, you ain't building no road just so you ain't rerouting nothing in the city just because you got money. You know.
If you got enough, telling you. And they got it. I'm telling you, they got enough.
They say, look, we'll buy the whole thing. So,
I'm telling you.
Why y'all getting it together and trying to figure it out? We got it.
Exactly.
Look, we got construction companies. We got this and everything.
Let me tell you, we trying to get Wrightsboro Road fixed. It is a hot mess. Meanwhile, and I understand. So
which part of Wrightsboro Road? Where you at on Wrightsboro Road? That's a long road.
Let me tell you. Okay, so I'm not over. I'm deep in South Augusta. But whenever I'm on that road, I'm like, come on, people, we got to figure it out. So I'll give you just a brief example between North Leg and Damascus Road.
North Leg and Damascus Road. You about to make me break my chair. Wrightsboro Road between North Leg and Damascus. I don't even know what district that's in. It may be in 2, but and here's the thing. Oh, I gotta say this too. Okay.
Because this could be the problem. So I just a little while ago, because I was complaining about the fact that Deansbridge Road was not fixed, because I was riding on that road, getting nails in my tire, all kinds of craziness. So I was like, who's in charge of Deansbridge Road? I want to talk to them.
They need you in LA because none of the roads are even decent. Zero.
I said, who's in charge of that road? And I learned who it was at a community meeting.
Okay.
And the guy the commissioner then Sammy Sias, District 4, was hosting this meeting once a month, and he had I called him. I asked. I said, "Man, what's going on with this?" And he said, "That's a state road." He said, "We don't have nothing to do with that. We can't do nothing with that road. I mean, we're not in charge of that." He said, "But I'll get the guy, the GDOT, Georgia Department of Transportation guy, to come and talk about what's going on. What's the construction plan? When is it going to be finished? And all of that kind of stuff." So I don't know if that very well may be the case with Wrightsboro. Several years ago, about 10 years ago, there was some conversation during the whole downtown Augusta conversation about upgrading the streets and the sewage and the infrastructure.
Right. That
was supposed to happen actually 15 years ago, because Scooter was a baby then. It's just happening now. It is, and Broad Street is a state road. It is we're just getting to the place.
You said Broad Street is a state road.
Broad Street. 15 years later, the work that they were talking about in 2009, 2010 is just being started right now.
Wow.
Can you imagine?
But also think about like the Augusta Mini Theater. It just took them 15 years to raise $1 million.
Right.
You see it.
Yeah. And our businesses and our organizations are historically undercapitalized. That's just a fact. And in addition to that, politics plays a role in all of it. Mm-hmm. So I do believe that the Mini Theater is moving forward with building their next phase.
They are
now, but I know it took it took a minute.
Yeah.
To get to that place. And I believe part of it is because I think it goes back to relationships. Mm-hmm. But then that also goes back to being familiar with the landscape, like and knowing who's in the room or who's in the space. Like this is something I kind of was thinking. I don't know this to be true or not.
Okay.
But I felt this during the last election cycle, and that is, our folks are, like I said, historically undercapitalized. We and not because we can't make the money, but because white folks be breaking stuff.
You said they break stuff.
They be breaking stuff. They be tearing things up, setting stuff on fire. I'm trying not to cuss and say shit. But
no, you can't say whatever you
setting things on fire and burning down,
right.
and that kind of thing. So that redlining, all those things, definitely happen. And so I was having a conversation with someone. I was like, coming into the election cycle, sometimes it feels like we as a people are thinking very short-sightedly. Whereas we are planning, when it comes to politics and elections, we're planning for the next year or two, right? Or 6 months. We're planning for that short period of time. And then we go back to our lives, right? Be up here,
no more. It's not election season anymore. Business as usual.
Not election season anymore. I can relax. I can go back to doing whatever it is I'm doing. But it's the other folks. They are constantly. It is always election season.
Right.
It is that, and that's one thing I would love for our folks to be aware of. It is always.
Everything's about voting. Everything's about what are we agreeing on.
It's about making. It's about voting. It's about being engaged and being involved, being visible. Because there's a difference between you. There's a big difference between you knowing who your politician is, right? Who is your elected official? Who's your commissioner? Who's your mayor? A game changer, what's even more powerful than that is if those people know who you are, right? I need to know who the mayor is. Mayor know who I am. I send him a text or whatever. He might not get back with me immediately, but I know he got it, right? And I know those kinds of things. Not just with elected officials, people who are in leadership, your chamber people, chamber of commerce folks, your folks who work in economic development. Just depends on the people who, if you're an artist, the people who run the Arts Council or the Humanities Council, those kinds of things. Coming up to 22 election, so I have 4 kids. My oldest is 33. 33, I think he is. And then the next oldest, I got 2 33s. My bonus baby is 33. My son is 33. My middle son is 32. My 32-year-old told me that he was probably not going to vote. He said, "Don't make a difference. It ain't gonna change nothing." And I was pissed.
I feel you.
To hear him say that.
Yeah.
And so we talked about it. He was very strong. He was very secure in his stance. And so I ended up just saying, listen, if you don't want to vote, then don't. You don't have to vote. I said, but you better do something. You got to show up in some kind of way. And this was before. Now he's a father. Grandparents' Day was yesterday.
Grandparents' Day.
Grandparents' Day.
Happy belated Grandparents' Day to you.
I got 2.
That's awesome.
2 grandbabies. But I said, you got to do something. At the time he didn't have any kids. Now he's got a son. So you just got to show up for yourself and for your community in whatever way makes sense. But start to kind of see what's important to you.
A friend of mine told me the same thing. It was like, oh, well, because at first it was like, I'm voting for Trump. This is wild. This is like beginning of the year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now all this stuff about Trump and then Kamala has come out. Madam Vice President Kamala
Yeah.
Harris.
Mm-hmm.
You know, want to get her title right. I know she black.
Right.
We don't want to be so familiar. You know, Kamala. You know.
Right. That's my girl, you know.
Right. But Madam Vice President, since she, you know, she wants to be the president now and all of it, and everybody's rallying behind her. My friend, I went back to him. I said, "You still voting for Trump?" And he was like, "No, I'm not voting at all now, man. You know, same situation." And I was just like, you know, I was there before, especially when it was Trump against Hillary. And then they came out about the stuff about Hillary, you know, just like, oh no, now so it just gave me a whole thing where like I don't want to, and I think the media wants us to be in that, you know, don't think about voting, don't worry about voting, because if people aren't thinking about voting now, what? We can just go build a road and because we got enough money, you know. So
you're absolutely right about that.
So, you know, I asked them about that and I was like, listen, what we can do, we still have to vote for who we think the best candidate is. Mm-hmm. Stay involved, stay informed, but don't just say you're not voting.
Right.
Because you can give them the liberty to say, well, people aren't voting anyway, so why are we setting up these polls and why are we doing all that?
Yeah.
Let's just get rid of all that. Let's just, you know.
Just get all up. Yeah. If you don't, it's just like if you you don't use it, you lose it, right? So
yeah. It's mandated. It's you know it's old school. It's obsolete anyway. Let's just
right. Yeah, because
just govern ourselves.
Like, especially when you feel, it's the thing that when you feel like, I understand when you feel like your voice or your vote doesn't count.
Yeah.
And to be very honest, in some cases it does not. To be perfectly honest, in some cases you can stand up there and rah sis boom bye and press that button and get the hanging chads and all of that, and it's not going to matter. And that's another story for somebody who's smarter than me with this whole electoral college thing. But that is where it's in that situation where your local and regional elections are so important. Mm-hmm. Even like in smaller cities, some of those, actually not even in smaller cities, and right here, some of these elections, these city council, commission, whatever elections, the winner is by a difference of dozens or 100 people.
Right.
So if 100 folks would have shown up, then your outcome would have been totally different. So I'm really big on involvement with local folks. I know who my representative is, my state representative. Statewide stuff I'm not as involved in, but I'm getting there because I am getting more involved with the Black Chamber of Commerce.
Okay.
So I'm and they do a great job of the Greater Augusta Black Chamber of Commerce and the regional chambers throughout Georgia. They do a great job of interfacing with state and federal elected officials to make sure that this community is top of mind for them.
Okay.
Yeah. So
that's good.
I pick up my phone and call Congressman Allen, but if the president of the Black Chamber and also our president of our local Greater Augusta Black Chamber of Commerce is also the president of the Georgia, I'm gonna mess up the name. Georgia Coalition of Black Chambers. So she's a president of both those, Ronique West. So having a voice is really important, and they'll help you too. If you've got an issue you want to have addressed, first join the chamber, really affordable, and then they will assist you with whatever your needs may be, whether it's personal for your own home or whether it's for your business. They do all sorts of business training as well. So, and here's and part of the reason part of the reason why it was important for me to do this newspaper work, even though I don't know nothing about running a newspaper, is that information is power. Data is so powerful.
Okay, so let's introduce the newspaper a little bit, because you did say that was one of the main things you wanted to publicize and talk about.
Okay.
Yeah, give me some information about the newspaper.
All right, I certainly will. So I am the publisher of Urban Pro Weekly.
Okay.
It was started in 2011 by Fred Benjamin.
Okay.
As a print publication. So I acquired the paper in 2021.
Okay.
Beginning of 2021, and have been utilizing that as a vehicle to tell our stories. I'm a musician and a part-time farmer agriculturalist, but I want to make sure that creatives have an outlet and a voice as well. So that was one of my primary reasons for buying the paper. Also, from a business, entrepreneurship, community perspective, just and really kind of in response to all of the activity and all of the different narratives that the media was spinning in 2020. There was just so much out there. It was, of course, the election, January 6th, it was a whole bunch of bullshit going on. And I wanted to make sure that the newspaper continued to do what it was meant to do, and that was to amplify our voices in the community.
Good.
Yeah.
Tell them how they can get to the newspaper.
So you can get to UPW at the website is urbanproweekly.org. And I'm very excited that we're talking today because right now we're transitioning from print and a little bit of digital to 100% digital. And I tell you, it's challenging, but it's a great and necessary challenge, right? So I met with some advisors and some consultants this morning and began to just lay out exactly what it will look like. And I'm excited about that because it is shaping into a lot more than I could have ever imagined. You know, I dabble around with social media and that kind of thing, but I understand that media is where it's at. Social is usually the first news source for a lot of people.
Right.
Social media. I mean, honestly, if I am honest, when I get up in the morning, I go to Facebook is my jam. I go to the Facebook and I see what's happened. I check my messages. I check my email. I just kind of scroll. But of course, the algorithm does what the algorithm does. So it's really important to have some kind of direct engagement. And that's what we're moving toward, is focusing really, really heavily on content creation.
Right. Now can you see the website? I put it on the screen. I don't know if you can see my screen.
I can see it, yes.
So this is the site, and right now you say you're doing some print and you're doing some digital, and you're getting ready to go 100% digital.
We're getting ready to go 100% digital. So right, that is really just, it's a landing page. It's got a link to the site where the PDFs, the issues live. Going into, and that's a responsive landing page. Once we move to the next platform, it'll be a lot more robust in nature.
Gotcha.
And it will be what I see happening with it is that it becomes a living thing, which sounds weird to say. Sounds weird to say.
No, I understand.
But that it does.
462 had to become a living thing.
Yes. I love what you're doing with the platform. I've been watching you. I've been stalking you, seeing what you're doing over here in these streets.
Good.
But yeah, I love the fact, and I love the fact too that you're building that Floor 62 is a community. It is a living, breathing organism as it stands right now. So
right.
I dig it.
You know, what I like about what I'm doing is I get to put people on my team and I get to be a part of other people's team. You know? So with you being the top of the triangle over here at UPW, you know, I would love to see how I could maybe get some interviews in Augusta for it or get some content for it to help publicize it, help be a marketing arm for UPW.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it. Because we need I know you have your own networks, your really wide, broad networks. You're everywhere and then everywhere again. So
okay.
I think like this is I can share this. This is so UPW is a local newspaper. It started that it was all about Augusta.
Yeah.
And for the past year or so, I've just been thinking about what's going to happen next. What are we doing next? And so the name Urban Pro Weekly, my thought was, well, let's really just focus on urban professionals.
Okay.
Young urban professionals, really. And so, because right now, folks who are reading the print, the paper, you know, they're older folks. They're folks older. So, but I get all my news. I do check which is why my phone battery was dead early because I was consuming content, getting so much great information, and I love that you are from here. Yeah. You're from Augusta. This is what I was telling to my consultants earlier. Ideally, I want UPW to be able to touch people far and wide.
Right.
I want to have the base, the nucleus here. But we've got folks who are from here, who went to Butler High School, the best in all of Augusta, Georgia, and who are out doing magical things across the universe, right? Out where you are and on the West Coast, folks who are traveling and doing things and making music, making art, running businesses overseas. I'd like to at least start with a local, to use Augusta, the CSRA, as a base, right, as the hub, so to speak. But then talk to folks like Jamal Moore and this young lady who played a concert at Aiken over the weekends. Got this concert truck. She graduated from Davidson.
Oh wow!
I didn't meet her, but I was like, our folks are, you know, our people are everywhere.
Yeah.
And, doing magical, mystical things. So, and I think too, when younger folks see this level of Black excellence, so to speak, excellence in general, but especially Black.
Okay.
They know that, hey, I can do that too. And one of the things that I started doing with the paper was featuring folks on the cover. I was like, I like the young lady who was on that last image that you showed, on the cover of the of that document. She's a teacher. She had an opportunity to go up in a plane. That's one of the images, beautiful. But I want to see people who look like me, who are making real, measurable magic and change in this community. I need to, and the people who need to see that, they're not going to pick up a newspaper.
I got it.
They're not going to do it. So we got to go. We got to go where they at.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Yeah,
what this
we gotta go.
platform is about,
We
and
gotta
that's
go.
what your platform is about. So I'm looking forward
Yeah,
to like.
We gotta go. We gotta take them to floor 62. That's right.
Right, right. You know, sometimes the railroad ain't underground. It's above the ground, way above,
Way above
way
ground.
above,
Mhm.
way over their heads.
Yeah.
Wake up! It's the J.Soul Morning Show, and of course, I always bring the best of the best guests to the show. Today, I have Brandy, and she's gonna be talking about being a shaman. Now, if you don't know what a shaman is, you need to stay tuned because we're going to learn together, okay? We're going to do something together. J-Soul Morning Show, and it's Brandy. What's up, Brandy?
Rich Rising, Kings and Queens. So excited to be here with you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I don't want to mess up your last name. Is it Mazeshian?
Yes, you got it.
Yeah, Brandy Mazeshian is on the J-Soul Morning Show, y'all. I'm going to tell everybody where you are today.
Wow. I am literally in the middle of nowhere in the Ozark Mountains. I love mountain energy, and spirit tends to move me from mountain to mountain. I'm in the Ozarks right now.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Are you on a specific journey or how, like, tell me something
Uh,
about it?
Absolutely on a specific journey, right? As you know, this is that time on the planet.
Mm,
And I'm on the front lines of the spiritual warfare happening. So I go wherever
mm,
spirit tells me to go. Most
true.
recently, I was in the Blue Ridge Mountains. Now I'm in the Ozark Mountains, probably the Rockies next. So
Okay.
my journey has me moving at specific times to show up where God needs me to be to have the conversations that I need to have.
Okay. Okay. So that's perfect. Like I know Blue Ridge is in Georgia. Ozark, where's that?
Arkansas,
Okay. Wow.
yes.
Okay. So let's talk about the journey getting there, and
Mm.
because you mentioned you're a shaman. Tell our listeners what a shaman is.
Okay, in really simple terms, a shaman is someone who is able to connect with the spirit realm and bring messages back to this side or healing remedies back from the other side to this realm.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Got it.
Hmm.
So tell me your journey discovering that you had this gift. How did this all start? Where are you from? Give us a
Yes.
sense because people don't know how good of friends we are, and but we're gonna get into it as we get into this conversation. So give us
Okay.
a little bit of background.
All right. So I would say my own awareness started at 8 years old, right? But
Okay.
my story, as my family could tell you, started when I was 4. And
Hmm.
so at 4 years old, I displayed very intense, powerful spiritual gifts.
Okay.
Um, some people call them psychic gifts. I use psychic and spiritual interchangeably when it comes to giftings. Okay, you'll see why in a
Okay.
moment. So when I was younger, I was able to move things with my mind, including people. As you can imagine, this concerned my parents. So, they took me to
I'm
be
sure.
tested. They took me to be tested, and they found out that I was off the charts intelligence wise, all this kind of razzmatazz, right? So I was 4 years old in the first grade. That's kind of what they thought they should do with me at that time was just put her in a higher class, and that'll fix it. Um,
Okay.
it didn't. But I was fortunate. I was fortunate that the school that I went to in the Metro Atlanta area took gifted kids like me and put us in the woods. So while
Mm,
other kids went to school and went to sit in the classroom, I would go to school and get on a bus, and they drive us up to Dahlonega to the Blue Ridge Mountains, and we'd be in the woods all day. And
mm,
this really helped me establish a very deep connection with earth, with nature, and of course with the divine.
okay.
Instead of being in a room with teachers and, don't do this, do this, I got to be
Hmm.
outside in nature. And so that really kind of opened something up inside of me. And by the time I was 12, I sorted out that I wanted to be a doctor.
Okay.
I wanted to make people feel better. Okay.
Gotcha.
I went to college to do it, got a job in a hospital after graduating, uh, you know, clocked in the NICU and PICU unit at UNC Chapel Hill,
Okay.
and probably lasted a year before I realized, yeah, this ain't it. This ain't it.
Right.
So that was like, really the beginning of this really intense, I'm going to call it secondary spiritual awakening, because my first spiritual awakening, I was 8 years old, right? The divine came to me and said, this is who you are. This is what you do. I was 8 years old. So I was scared, like, what? You know, um,
Mm.
but by the time I got to 21, I could accept it. I could accept that I could see things about people that other people couldn't. I could hear God clearly. It wasn't a challenge for me to hear God. The challenge that I quickly found out was being obedient to what I was
Okay.
hearing. Okay, that was a
Gotcha.
real challenge.
Mm.
But about that time, I sorted out I am here to heal people, just not with Western medicine. I'm here to connect people to God, just not in this traditional way. And
Right.
I then discovered, talking to my parents at the time, that I had shamanic medicine women on both sides of my family. So I had
Mm.
literally inherited all of these spiritual gifts from both sides of my family. And, oh my goodness, the world exploded for me. And not even in a
Wow.
great way, but in a very
Mm.
intense way.
We'll be right back. We're going to take a short break and we're going to get Brandy back. And when she comes back, she's going to talk about things exploding for her in a very big way, in a very intense way. You already heard her say she has psychic gifts that she's had since she was 8, spirit visiting at 8, telling her, hey, look, this is how you bring people to God, hearing God's voice. So when we return, we'll have Brandy back on the J.Soul Morning Show, and she's going to speak a little bit more about that conversation, okay? Don't go nowhere. Stay tuned. Welcome back.
Thank you. And I am shadow banned often on social media. You are correct. The energies that be have no interest in my voice being shared. So
Oh, okay, got you, got you. Yeah, soon as you're like, yep, I hear the voice of God. I want to talk to the people. Skirt!
Yep.
Stop her, y'all. We gotta stop her.
That's
We
it.
gotta intersect.
That
But
is
they're not
it.
gonna intersect today. We're on a decentralized platform. Nobody can
Excellent.
take us down. This isn't social media. This is Floor 62. And if it ain't fun,
Yes.
it ain't Floor 62.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So before our commercial break, we had you were talking about things exploding for you in a big way, but it was intense. And
Yes.
yeah, so our listeners we were on the edge of our seats. So
Yes.
tell us.
So if you can imagine, I'm 21. I live in Atlanta. I'm having fun, and I'd meet friends out. Hey, how you doing? They say, "Oh, I'm good," but I could both see and feel their truth.
Mm-hmm.
I could see their past 24 hours. I could see that argument. I could see that, I got fired, I got evicted. I could see it. And so I was left
Mm.
in this really interesting space of, do I honor what they're telling me, or do I speak to what I'm seeing?
Okay.
That's a challenge.
So 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 how do you decide that?
Well, it took me the better part of 15 years to learn how to balance both, to learn how to
Okay.
honor the person's truth that they were speaking and still hold space for the healing that I could see was really happening in the background.
Got
And
it.
I met you
Got it.
during a time where I was really going in and honing my skills, right? Where we met was a great place for me to dig in and practice my listening, but also choose to honor my own gifts.
That's right. That's right. I feel like they gave us a lot of tools to really listen to people, and if you
Mm-hmm.
have any gifts, it absolutely helped you increase them.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
So do you want to talk about that journey at all?
We
Coaching
can.
people, or
We can.
yeah.
It was such a big part of my life. Let's see, I had been coaching for some time before I met you at Landmark, and
Hmm.
then I was there for 6 years as a program leader and staff member, coaching people all over the country, literally from all over the world. It's an international organization, so we got to not only meet each other, but we met some pretty heavy hitters from almost every industry, from every market, right? Um,
Right.
so I got to not only enhance my coaching skills and again my listening skills, but connect with people from different walks of life that I probably would not have otherwise. That's something we were very proud of, is that this group, this work that we were doing was bringing together, opposing sides into a conversation of what's possible when we work together. And I
Right.
still love that about the work that we did. And, like anything that a human creates, we were in this brilliant conversation for workability and integrity on the planet while being challenged with a lack of integrity inside the organization itself, right? So it's like both and.
Mm. It's something interesting to talk about when you say there's a lack of integrity inside of a corporation. Especially, a lot of times we talk about churches, or we talk about the government and all of it, because these are all entities that the people count on them to work the way they're supposed to work. When you go to a seminar and people are helping you, you want all the intentions to be right. When you go to church and you hearing the word and all of it, you want the energy to be right. You want the integrity to be right. You don't want stuff to be going on behind the closed doors that you got to find out.
That's right.
But I feel like a lot of organizations, especially if they've been around for a while, what happens is some corruption happens because people don't want to have uncomfortable conversations about what it will take to correct what's going on. And then when you do have conversations about what needs to be corrected, now you're a threat. Now like,
Yes.
Thomas come up here talking about we need to fix this and we need to fix that. Like, he got ideas. I'm like,
Yes, exactly that. And I will tell you, my experience with that is whenever I position myself as a corporate consultant or business coach, and there was a monetary exchange, people seemed a little bit more willing to shift. But when I show up in this space, the same as a shaman, hey, look, what the root cause of this is spiritual. The root cause of this is you're disconnected from the divine. People are not interested in that level of integrity, but it's so foundational. It's so foundational,
Yeah, like, hey, you probably haven't talked to God in a few,
Yeah.
and he'll listen to you. You can talk to him, every morning.
And look, religious trauma is real. I want to say that because there are some people listening who may have had some really not, like we're talking about, they've experienced some religious situations, some organizations where there was corruption rather than integrity. And so now they're like, no, I don't talk to God because he allowed this or he allowed that. So I don't want to downplay. Religious trauma is real. And
hey, look, y'all got to come back for part 3. This is getting really, really great, y'all. This is getting really great. And we'll be right back after this. Make some noise for Stan Wilder. Brandy. Y'all, I have the best friends in the world, man. They come and they show up and they step in, and when you need them, when we got it back on y'all, it's Brandy. I want you to finish your thought. Do you remember where you were?
Yes. And to really bring it all together, this personal connection that we're all meant to have with the divine, it's separate from religious, it's separate from culture, it is personal to you. It's unique to you, because we're all unique expressions of the divine. And I truly believe that is what we see that is under attack around the world right now. There is this desire to have us all behave the same way, think the same way, do the same thing. It's not the divine blueprint. It's not what was in mind when we were created.
Right.
It is a new form of slavery, and I will continue to speak out about it. And hey, I have compassion for the people who don't want me to share this truth, because it tears down these kingdoms of greed and corruption. It forces them to change how they live, and I understand that's uncomfortable. And there are billions of people starving for this knowledge, starving for this confirmation that they're on the right path, starving for this truth that there's nothing wrong with them, that God made them perfect and unique, and they get to walk that path. I really feel very strongly that this message is critical right now. It will allow each one of us to disconnect from the matrix in the way that we are meant to, at the time that we are meant to.
I will say that it's starting to be a common theme on our show. I don't know if I'm leading the conversation or the conversation's being led, but it's absolutely happening where we're talking about the kingdom of God. Yeah. We're not talking about being in the four walls of the church or being in the four walls of America. We're talking about a global consciousness where people come together for real, and we realize, like you said, we cannot disconnect from the divine, because we are divine. Because it really is a mission. It's a mission to give people information. It's a mission to give people awareness. It's a mission to connect people with themselves, and you know, in this realm, in the spiritual realm, and to give people some insight on their journey. You know, so if we can do that and we can connect people with this platform, I absolutely want to, you know, because you're right. When it comes to social media and everything, the algorithm is going to push messages like this away. Yes. Because there are some people who pretend to do what we do, you know, and that can be dangerous as well, you know. Yes.
You know, to your point, I love that you said that. I feel like a lot of those people are being exposed right now. I call them the great pretenders. Exactly. It's like it's almost like kind of how I choose to see it is they've been placeholders for us while we were being groomed, right, by the Most High to take our spot. And so and I'm going to speak very discreetly, I truly believe we're watching the fall of the great pretenders across several industries, making room for the true stars to rise. Exactly. That is my. That's my
no. Because we've seen it across the board. We've seen nepotism destroy politics. We've seen nepotism destroy the music industry. We've seen corruption destroy so many parts of the world where we're like. I was watching a conversation with Trevor Noah and another gentleman, and they were talking about how world peace and togetherness right now in our society sounds like cheesy and a corny conversation.
Yes.
And how do we bring this back? Because we all agree that it's necessary to have peace. It's necessary to have togetherness. But why are we so in a norm of separation and beef and tragedy and, you know, and separatism? and and injustice. So these conversations do have to come in and help flood the mind, and we have to give people mindfulness. And what does that mean? What does it mean to tap into yourself? What does it mean to listen to, the other side for guidance, Because I think that God is talking to all of us.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What
I
is,
love and appreciate that you said that.
mm-hmm. What is something you want to go forward? And I think we're having a small delay. That's the only reason why our chemistry is going off. The internet wants to mess us up, but we're not going to mess up. We're going to beat it up. Give us some insight on, and I'm not trying to ask you to be psychic, but something that you see that you feel like will help our listeners or assist our listeners with what's going on in society and what we can look forward to.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes. Two things immediately come up. Number one, regardless of who you are, where you come from, you really want to be working with your ancestors. Whatever that looks like for you. Okay. I'm a woman from the South, so we usually had grandma and granddad's picture, in the living room.
Okay. Yeah.
We made those recipes at the holidays. We still honor, my grandparents' passing. That's really important. Science tells us that we have 14 generations of information in our DNA. So to put it simply, you are living your ancestors' life, whether you realize it or not. You're repeating patterns from your ancestry. Now, the thing is, you weren't there at the beginning when the pattern was formed, but they were. So when you're trying to overcome a limiting belief or overcome an obstacle in your life that just seems persistent, no matter what you do, you can't move that mountain, your ancestors probably have the help you need. Okay. They did something, or they saw something that had them make a choice, and you are literally carrying that choice forward. Okay. For those of us who are people of color, man, a lot of these choices, we need to rewrite them immediately. Okay.
Gotcha.
These vows of poverty that we took, the way that we eat that brings sickness into our body, this is ancestral for us. We need to rewrite this. Okay. And along that same line, the second thing I'll share is when we talk about unity, standing together, peace, a world that works, the path forward is when we each acknowledge who we are as individuals.
So if you imagine trying to work with somebody that you don't know, trying to do a construction job with someone you've never met before, you're like, I don't trust this guy. How do I know they can pull their weight?
Right.
The way to get to know someone is to get to know them. And as long as we're all being coerced to being the same, we can't know each other. What we're being kind of herded into is this comparison lifestyle. We dress the same, think the same, talk the same, listen the same, eat the same. That way we can keep comparing and judging ourselves and the other person, which keeps us separated. It's super tricky, but if you just sit and look, if you will allow yourself to be an individual, show up as the unique person you are, the people in your life get to know you, and they can choose whether they want to mess with you or not. If they do want to mess with you, then guess what? You have the opportunity to create an intimate connection where you know each other, and now you can stand united. Now you can stand together. This is the part of unity consciousness that we keep trying to leave out. We must individuate first. Then we can stand together. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's tricky. It's tricky because it's like, oh no, but if we hold hands and if we pray together, and but it hasn't worked. I mean, if you look around, it hasn't worked. What we haven't done yet is allow each one of us to show up as the unique, crazy, weird, outstanding, extraordinary people we are, and then connect in that authentic manner.
Got it. Just connecting authentically as ourselves, instead of everybody trying to be the same, everybody on the same path. Be like, oh, well, he's got a Ferrari before me. Oh, he got a bigger house than me. Oh, he got a...
Yep.
And at the end of the day, what does that even mean? Like, The whole
Yes.
comparison age and the whole algorithm age. If you're a DJ, you know, the internet's going to show you 1,000 other DJs who doing something better than you. If you're a model, you're going to see somebody who's modeling a lot more than you. If you're a drummer, you're going to see somebody who's a lot better than you. It's just like, okay. But anyway, like you said, let's get to know each other. Let's be on our paths, and let's not be jealous or anything like that. Let's enjoy where God has us, and we can meet together, you know, in that fashion.
That's it.
What do you want to leave the people with? Because I'm definitely going to have you back on the show. You're a Floor 62 member. We've known each other for a while, and there's a lot of messages that both of us have to get out, and it helps when there's strength in numbers.
Correct. So I would say I actually started a podcast today called The Sacred and the Profane. I recorded an entire episode and then watched it disappear into the ethers. So you can imagine what was in that episode, right?
Oh no!
I'm here for it. Let's go. Let's get it. The messages are gonna come out right. Anyway.